Hello there people, thanks again for joining us. It's great to be on your screen again, and I really hope that you enjoy today's lesson, because today we're going to be painting a painted Indian war pony. And the animal depicted here is the ultra rare medicine hat. The Indian people believed that the medicine hat provided them with supernatural protection from harm in battle. In fact, only medicine men, chiefs and super warriors were allowed to ride the medicine hat. So let's paint a pony. Ah! A giant white canvas, one of the most intimidating sights to greet a painter. So the first thing is to get rid of it. So I lay down some paint directly onto the canvas. I'm using Mont Marte metallic acrylic. It comes complete with silver, gold, bronze and copper. And the copper is the colour I'm using. The canvas is a double thick that measures 91 by 121 centimetres. Okay, now quickly, while that's still wet, we squeeze out a little bit of bronze and a little bit of acrylic medium gloss. Stir it up, yes, with your fingers, because we're going to do a little bit of finger painting. The more fluid you add, the smaller the spots. Try to aim your spots around the centre of the canvas. Well, I think that about does it. It looks so interesting around here. That is an artwork in itself. But I think we'll keep going. So let that dry and then we'll do the next step. Now our crazy shimmering abstract background is done, we can create our magical mystical medicine hat and some clouds as well. For our horse, you might like to download our PDF with the medicine hat name at montmarte.net. And once you've printed this out, you might like to create a grid system and enlarge it. And incidentally, we have already done a lesson suggesting this technique called how to enlarge and draw from a photo. You might also like to photocopy some anatomical horse drawings as well to help you. So let's draw up our horse. Now our background is quite hard and glossy, so it won't accept pencil, but it will accept a Mont Marte crayon. So let's draw up our horse. Try to faithfully reproduce the PDF in regards to shadow and muscle tone. But to be honest, due to the cartoony nature of a work like this, it doesn't matter if the dimensions aren't perfect. In fact, slight distortion adds a bit of quirkiness, I think. I think that every time I stuff up a drawing, I think it's a good justification. I'm also going to portray the clouds in this cartoony style also, just for the fun and for that quirk factor. Well, our Hossie is now drawn. It's time to lay in our sky blue background. And the colours we'll be using for that are cerulean blue and titanium white. Now it's a fairly large area, so I've got a 250ml tub of cerulean there and 75ml tube of titanium, because we won't be using too much white. Now we'll be applying it with the 50ml wide artist Taklon, and we'll be painting around our horse and clouds, or the negative area. And I love painting the negative area because it's just magic the way the subject reveals itself. So create a nice sky blue colour. Give it a slight mix and slap it on. Wow, that blue just looks lovely on that copper. I'm cutting in with the big brush and have an angle for the tight areas, like around the clouds. I try to lay my colour on as quickly as I can, as it dries quite quickly. Incidentally, this is a very large canvas, but obviously this project would work on any size canvas. As I move down, I add more white into the blue and then blend it up to the darker blue. Well, it is time now to paint our horse. And remember to simplify. So we're going to lay in our darks. So squeeze out some lamp black. Again, refer to the PDF in regards of where to place the black. I'm using the angle brush to apply it. The areas where the shadow is a little lighter, I let the paint run out and gently drag it softly over the weave. This creates a sort of half-tone pattern. Take extra care with the eye. The point of the angle facilitates fine work very well. Remember, the eye betrays the soul of an animal, so it pays to give it a little extra care. You will see the horse come alive from a flat profile. Continue to lay in the darkest tone. Well, now we can add our lights. And traditionally, the medicine hat was a white horse that had these random gold ochre to brown torn patches over its body. The main thing about the medicine hat was this patch around its head here. That was the hat of the medicine hat. And the Indian people believed that this hat would protect them and the horse when they rode into battle. Now, because this colour is in the realm of believable to that patch colour, we're going to paint the white up to it and leave the patches blank. Now, we're going to use Chinese white instead of titanium white because it's not as stark. And this is really going to be an exercise in dry brushing. So let's get this white on. The printout has no recommendation of the patches because no two horses had the same markings. It is one of those things where you can't go wrong. Just keep an eye on how much paint is on your brush so you can create different values. Let's create a mane for our war pony now. And because I'm loving this lack of refinement and boisterous paint application, let's apply it directly from the tube. I think this will add a real three-dimensional quality. Snip off the hanging tag and then the corner and you're good to go. I'm laying in titanium white here. If you speed it up at the end and then lift the tube, it will taper away simulating a hair. Of course it's about 150 times the thickness of a horse hair, but the suggestion is there and it's fun to do. Imagine the way a horse's mane would fall and keep the hairs running in that direction. I decided the white was a bit stark, so I laid over some cream as well. So while we're creating our pony's mane, let me tell you another thing that the Indians used to do. They used to braid feathers into their pony's forelocks, and these coop feathers gave the horse special powers. For example, an owl feather gave the horse stealth, and an eagle feather gave it courage. Well, I have a pigeon feather here because we don't have many eagles in Salisbury. And instead of painting a feather on, we're going to apply it to the mane, because remember that acrylic is a glue also, and this will really keep in feeling with the three-dimensional quality that we're trying to achieve. So let's stick our coop feather on. Lastly, let's paint our war pony. Now, each mark meant something different or gave a different power. And whilst these marks differed from tribe to tribe, there was a few that they were quite common, and they were like these ones. A red circle around my pony's eye will improve his eyesight in battle. He gets a line across his muzzle for every time we have been on a coop. Next, I apply yellow lightning strikes. This will make my war pony more sure-footed and run like the wind. Next, I add a handprint onto my horse's shoulder. This showed he had knocked down an enemy in battle. If it was placed upside down, that was the highest prize symbol a warrior could place on his horse. That meant his faithful steed had brought him home safe from harm. Finally, I paint the eyeball blue, just to show that he was the rarest and most beautiful of all medicine hat ponies. Well, I have really enjoyed painting this fine animal. And if you haven't already checked them out, then you must check out our other lessons. And they can be found on our webpage at montmarte.net. And while you're there, you can join our Facebook, our blog, and you can also subscribe to our family feed where you can get free hints and tips to help you with your artwork. So keep on painting.